Waiting for my second guest to come on. Daniel Hanley is an engineer with IBM. There was a Intercept article that went out maybe 2 days ago or so. IBM employees launched petition protesting cooperation with Donald Trump. And as some of you have known, you know, like there's several of the leading like tech people and industry leaders. They're on, this economic advisory panel or committee for the Trump administration. And the head of IBM is one of those people. Now, several folks have said that they will not participate in the creation of a national Muslim registry. I believe it's like IBM and Google and some others have said that. But still, and I'll let Daniel talk a little bit more about the importance of this petition and what motivated him and why this happened. But I mean, this is another type of activism, happening in action, and people. These are workers who are saying like, look, this is our company. This is what we supposedly stand for. You need to put up. Like, if this is what we stand for, we need to stand for this across the board. Daniel, how are you?
Excellent. It's great to talk to you.
For those who don't, Daniel's, if you ever see me refer to Batman, that's Daniel. But that's another story for another time. Tell me about this petition.
Yes. I'm sorry, what was the question?
I said, so tell me about this petition. What's going on at IBM?
Well, the petition campaign is in great shape right now, but if you'd like me to start at the beginning, it all started roughly a month ago, November 16th, when IBM CEO Ginny Rometty. Okay.
Do you have a set of headphones handy? Because it's coming in kind of funky, the audio.
It might take just a moment, but I can go get them.
Okay, no problem. Because I want everybody to be able to hear exactly what you're saying. So just a little. I think I just gave you guys some background. So we'll have Daniel come back and explain. And with the IBM, like we were talking about, IBM, it's several of the Silicon Valley types. We've seen Elon Musk, we've seen so many who are kind of cozying up on this Trump, administration committee, and it's disconcerting for many people. And so I think there was a senior member of Cisco maybe who actually wrote an op-ed and stepped down in opposition to their participation. And Daniel will come back in and talk about the IBM employees and their petition. Again, these companies have said they would not participate in the creation of a national Muslim registry, but the employees are saying that's not good enough. We need something more than just, we're not going to help, track people. We need something better. If we have certain values that we claim to stand by, and I think this notion of corporate responsibility is really interesting. So Daniel, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good. So just so you were talking about the what led up to the creation of the petition. If you could just kind of just start right there again. Okay, so Daniel, come back in. But this idea of corporate responsibility and corporate engagement in the communities and social responsibility is really an interesting one, right? I mean, there's nothing that actually necessarily requires corporations to be a certain way. But at the same time, there is a sense of possible goodwill and positive returns that can happen if corporations engage in a reasonable and ethical manner, right? And we see that with corporations that engage positively, whether it's with the environment, with communities they're around, corporations that treat their employees really well. So there is some precedence for demanding corporations to do and be better. It'll be interesting to see how this turns out. Daniel, are you back? Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're good. So we can just pick back up again when you said talking about creating the petition.
I'm sorry. What was the last?
I said we can pick back up where you were talking about creating the petition.
Okay.
Well, first we spoke with a large group of IBMers who had expressed dissent. There were hundreds of them who had expressed dissent on the internal blog. We compiled a list of them by phone, Takedown, even social media. We found some people who were to sign on to a statement. That feedback refined a statement that asserted some of our interests and values and demands that we wanted to present to Ginny Rometty and other IBM executives. There were, one, we assert the right to refuse to participate in any violate people's civil liberties illegally and target marginalized groups. Two, I reaffirm its values of inclusion and diversity by expanding its diversity program. Three, we want to demonstrate IBM's commitment to its ethical business conduct guidelines by refusing to engage in any business actions with Trump-affiliated properties and companies so as to avoid the perception of influence peddling. It's actually in the company guidelines. We think that they need to think about it, so IBM going to follow the law, right? Next, we let in these precarious times, IBMers are feeling really insecure, especially those who might be affected by racist, xenophobic, sexist programs. A lot of IBMers are feeling insecure. We want to war lost benefits that executives at IBM have recently cut, including benefits for matching pay contributions throughout the year instead of right at the end of the year after everybody's been laid off. And the severance program was recently cut by like 80%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah,
go ahead.
We tested this position with many people. We got a great response, not just by myself, but by a team of others. And it included perspectives, not just from the technical business side as well. So I thought it was pretty beautiful how I'll be in accord, coming from wildly different parts of the company, different ideological perspectives. A lot of IBM.
So I'll tell you guys about how I know Daniel, because Daniel, I talk about Daniel, I call him Batman. So if you guys have ever seen over like the campaign cycle, if you ever saw the Bernie sign off the side of a building, like particularly the CNN building here in Atlanta or the side of a bank, it kind of looks like a bat signal in the sky. That's Daniel. That's the guy who does those. He's the guy that came up, it's a stencil basically. He has a projection machine and he comes out there in his black trench coat. He reminds me of Batman. I mean, he comes out there, he has his gears and stuff and all his tools, and the big Bernie sign is projected in the sky. It's been pretty cool to see. Daniel is a pretty awesome activist locally here in Georgia, as well as, I really want him to be able to talk more about this great petition, but I did drop the link. I'll drop it again. And I also tweeted it out, but The Intercept did a piece a couple days ago on this topic, basically whereby the employees, and there's plenty of them, that are demanding that the leadership, that the corporation stick to its moral base that it claims. One of the internal, they talk about advocating diversity and open exchange of ideas, not refusing to discriminate on the basis of race and just all this other stuff. And they're just like, if we're going to have, they claim to have a very moral and business, people-centered environment, but it's a challenging, moment. How can you say that this is what you're doing, this is what you're maintaining, if you're then aligning yourself with someone like Donald Trump? Now, some may say, well, but of course you're going to, why would you not work with whoever is the president? Well, when that person is advocating for certain policies and procedures and engaging in such a manner that is a threat to civil liberties, to the moral fiber that we claim, are a part of, current contemporary society, if there's someone that's threatening and engaging in practices that will undermine freedom of speech and other liberties, if these are things you claim you're against, how can you then work for such a person in those aims? So I really do think that it's a really interesting conversation that's happening with IBM employees and their senior executives. I think that this, and as of right now, this has been an internal IBM employee petition that they've been using. We'll see if it actually launches and becomes. So there was a Never Again pledge, which is similar, and this was 1,700 tech workers across many companies agreed to never participate in the creation of databases or identifying information for the United States government to target individuals based on race, religion, or national origin, and to minimize the collection and retention of data that would facilitate ethnic or religious targeting. So they've even had a former employee who actually quit shortly after this.